Hello, my name is Chris Pack. I'm a small business owner here in Los Angeles. A few nights ago, there was a short clip of video of me displaying some ill behavior that made the news. And, I wasn't aware who shot it, how it got released. But, I got a few phone calls yesterday from friends that sent me some clips. And, I'm not trying to justify my behavior, but at the same time, as a small business owner, I have a responsibility to protect the reputation of the company I represent. And also as a parent, this is not exactly the type of behavior I want to show to my children. So the reason I'm shooting this video is, although the action itself may not be justifiable, I wanted to tell you a little bit more of the series of events that led me to this particular behavior. By listening to the entire story, I believe you'll be able to have a better picture why I did what I did. So it has to start on Monday. So over the weekend, Lakers won the national championship, and there was some gathering of group of fans. And as I was coming to my studio Monday morning, I found entire city's wall filled with the graffitis and taggings. So, and my studio was no exception. We had all the walls that was, covered with the graffitis. And, I have a few friends who are graffiti artists, and this is some of the conversation I had with them. So whenever I asked them the real motive behind this youth doing this tagging and graffiti is because a lot of our youth, that's the only way they can express their existence. So, I get that, fine. But my message, so on top of the wall that already had a graffiti on, instead of just painting over, I just wanted to convey a little bit of message of my own. So I wrote basically, if you want fame, do art instead. And it was a letter that written on top of the graffiti. The idea was, guys, if you guys want to do this, at least try to make it a little bit more presentable so that perhaps you can get some good recognition. And that was my idea. So I spent the entire afternoon using my own materials, and I did a little modification on the graffiti they did. So that was a Monday. So come Tuesday, the 13th, there was another rally night before, Monday night, and the graffitis are even more rampant than ever. It's just everywhere. Entire South Park, small community, where my studio is. And in the afternoon, I get a visit from a city official. And he comes in and he asks me if I did that little mural on my wall. I say, yes. And he goes, well, you need to remove it. I said, why? Or you're going to pay fine. Why? Because I failed to obtain a city's permit for my mural. And by this time, I was not in the mood. And so I replied, obviously, a lot of people didn't get the memo, and I just told them to get lost. One evening, the Tuesday the 13th, I invited some of my friends over. We had a wonderful dinner, and we had a great time with a few drinks. They left, and because while I prepared, the meal for my friends, I couldn't work. So there was a few works I wanted to do. So they left, and I was doing some work inside my studio. And it was late in the evening, and I had a few drinks. And I started my chainsaw, which makes some noise. And as soon as I play with a few projects, I get a phone call from a neighbor. And obviously he's very agitated, and rightfully so. Maybe I disturbed him in his sleep. And he calls in a very agitated voice, and he orders me to stop. I don't know, maybe it kind of rubbed me in the wrong way, and we hung up the phone, and I gave him a few cranks just for the hell of it. Yes, it was childish, but I did what I did. And he calls again, and he had a few very kind words, and we hung up, and I gave him a few more cranks. And by this time, it was getting late, so I was tired. So I was like, you know what? The neighbor's asleep. Let me just call it a night and whatever. A few minutes later, this 4 patrol cars show up. Sirens, guns guns drawn. I mean, as if I'm Saddam Hussein planting the bomb in the city of LA. They immediately asked me to raise my hand, which I did. They asked me to, they gave me some instructions for me to follow, which I followed. And I'm handcuffed, and it happens like maybe within 2-3 minutes. So they show up, guns drawn, I'm handcuffed. So now that I'm handcuffed, the policemen, I'm sure they feel a little bit of ease. So I started asking questions, and I asked them, what's my crime? And the officer says, disturbance. Okay, so why am I being handcuffed? He goes, it's on your own protection. Okay. Is this your normal procedure for not exactly illegal, right? Maybe ill-advised. But is this how you usually respond to the noise complaint? Usually? And as I asked this question, they didn't have any answers. So what they did, they put me in the patrol car, threatened me to spend a night in jail. I was like, I really don't care, let's go. So they put me in the back of the patrol car, handcuffed. So I'm back with the patrol car about 30 minutes, and they asked me to come out. I did. They asked me to go to a certain part of, face the wall, whatever, and they eventually unhandcuffed me. And they try to make it sound as if they're doing me a big favor not to take me to the police station to put me in the jail for a night. And my thing is, okay, I was in my property, minding my own business, which is it's not illegal. It may be ill-advised. Yet they come to small business like me and do this kind of bullshit. And let me tell you what happened, what's been happening in here for the past couple years. So the night the Lakers won over the weekend, because we aren't going to have a parade, official parade this year, our fans decide they want to have their own parade. And since our studio is not that far from Staples Center, that parade thing happened right in front of my studio. And, living in LA, we are very used to seeing people smoking pot when they're driving. Which still doesn't make it okay, but people do it all the time here, okay? Fine. But this time, I'm not talking about the drivers and passengers separately. I'm talking about everybody. I see a lot of people not only smoking pot, but drinking out of bottles and their own beers. And while this crazy madness is going on for hours in the streets of LA, in front of my studio, and there are cops everywhere standing, watching and seeing exactly what everybody else is seeing, yet they stand there, do nothing, and just scratching their balls. Okay. So I got a little word for LAPD. I support you guys. I'm a big supporter, but I must say I'm very disappointed. Not because the reason you think I'm upset with, but let me tell you why I'm so upset with you guys. So there were 8 of you. While you guys put me and had me sit in the back of your patrol car for 40, 30, whatever minutes, you guys will start entering my studio, going through my computers and tools and all those kind of things. Yet, there were 8 of you, none of you thought, perhaps maybe we need a search warrant to enter his property. Does that ever cross anyone's mind? And where's your training? Where is your training? What's going on with Guelph Police Department? So, when I asked to see the search warrant, Mr. Morris, you failed to present one. And right there on the spot, and I filed the official complaint, which you say you will file it and get back to me right away. And I got a news for you, it's been 2 days, and I'm waiting for my case number. So LAPD, I got a few words for you. Maybe it's time to start to showing some professionalism in your line of work. And how you handle my complaint may be a good way to start, because I really don't like what the hell is going on within my city, and I'm gonna fight for some changes to be made within your department, because whatever it is that you are doing or not doing is a total disgrace, and I'm sick and tired of this. So eventually the cops left with the promise of official complaint. I had a few minutes to, absorb what just happened. And 2020 has not been exactly great year for a lot of small businesses and parents. I mean, we've been in this lockdown thing for more than a shutdown, lockdown, whatever the hell you want to call it, for more than 7 months. And many small businesses have gone forever, and many are facing the same unfortunate fate. And as a person myself, it's really hard to feel really good when you are surrounded by all this ugliness. And that night, going through what I had gone through, I felt like I live in a world that's absolute insanity. And I snapped and I lost it. And I felt great. And while I apologize for my neighbors, those innocent neighbors whose sleep got a little interrupted because of my craziness, I apologize. And I hope you can forgive me as we seem to be living in a world that's crazy, in a time that's even crazier. So I ask for your forgiveness. Thank you, and thanks for listening to my story.